Man.
So Trump was paying attention.
Yeah.
Um, on was it this past Saturday? He came out and threatened military intervention in Nigeria and withholding all foreign aid of its government if the government continues to allow this killing of Christians. He said it. President Trump said in a post on social media that if Nigeria does not halt the persecution of Christians, he may send U.S. troops guns blazing to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. He said, I am hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attacked our cherished Christians. He said the United States cannot stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria and numerous other countries. We stand ready, willing, and able to save our great Christian population around the world. And he threatened possible sanctions against the West African nation, declaring it a country of particular concern in terms of religious freedom. And I believe that designation as a country of particular concern is that's a legal term. I'm not 100% sure what all that entails, but I think labeling it as such opens certain avenues of and courses of actions. But the Nigerian president pushed back on that. And as Jim was saying, Al Jazeera came out, with an article pushing back and claiming that these atrocities weren't actually happening. The Nigerian president,
Or is
what's that?
indiscriminate, or that it was just indiscriminate, just random. It wasn't targeted, is what they claim.
Trying to soften the edges of something that's extremely ugly.
Yeah.
But the Nigerian president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, pushed back on social media, arguing that to characterize his country as religiously intolerant does not reflect our national reality. Religious freedom has been a core tenet of our collective identity and shall always remain so, according to him. But I would say there is thousands and thousands of Christians who would disagree with that assessment. And also, Trump's designation of Nigeria as this country of particular interest, a bipartisan United States Commission on International Religious Freedom concurred with that and also urged that the U.S. government designate Nigeria as a country of particular concern in its 2025 annual report, highlighting religious persecution of both Christians and Muslims. Interesting. John, you had also asked the question. I'm sorry, go ahead, Jim.
I was going to say, we could talk about this in a minute if you want to, but when Trump came out in support of the Christian persecution in Nigeria and alluding to potentially the U.S. getting involved, that could take us in a whole different direction on the discussion maybe a little bit later here, but about America interventionism, because there's a very large faction, ironically, particularly on the right, on the political right of the spectrum, for the U.S. being a non-interventionist. Used to be the faction on the left back in the 80s and 90s, it seemed like, and somehow that's flipped. And I'm generally in support of that idea, of meaning the U.S. shouldn't be the world's police force, as they say. And a lot of people are saying, like including Tucker Carlson and other folks of his ilk, that this is not our fight. This has nothing to do with U.S. national interests. And up until this situation, I was kind of more or less agreeing with him. I don't fully agree with that mindset, because I think we have to be involved and should be involved in certain parts of the world, including Israel and places like that, represent and stand for, Western values and our strong allies of America. This is interestingly different, because it's not that Nigeria is like a super strong ally of America. And I don't know if we have overwhelming interests there as clearly defined as we do in places like Israel.